Joining me now is Adam Posen. He's the president of the Peterson Institute for International Economics. Good to have you, Adam. Listen, you know this better than me, but all the reasons Trump said tariffs were good, the economic numbers have shown they just haven't delivered. Is the Supreme Court decision, in your view, good news for the U.S. economy?
Jim, I want to compliment you and your team. What you just listed was all fact-based and would summarize the situation very accurately, what the president claimed, what actually happened, the outcome. So when we look forward from this decision, we got to remember the Supreme Court is not economists. They make constitutional law. So today's decision was about limits on what the president can do without Congress. It wasn't any judgment on the economics. The judgment on the economics is for the voters to make based on what you just said. Anyway, going forward, this is a small positive. The small positive is there will be some relief of this very unfair, arbitrary, regressive, and distortionary tax. And over the long term, it will give some of those allies you mentioned, Canada, the European Union, Japan, UK, and others, hope that there is some institutional memory of rule of law in the US. That's the big message. But economically, for the households and the businesses, uncertainty remains. As the president indicated, it's going to be litigated forever.
The administration, as the president said, is now turning to other authorities, not as comprehensive as he claimed, but still other authorities, yeah. Section 122, for a 10% global tariff. I believe that can only last 150 days. Investigations under Section 301 powers. There are some experts who've estimated that some 70% of that tariff revenue could be reconstituted under just 122 alone. I wonder, do you see the accumulation of these other powers as being able to replace what the Supreme Court knocked down today?
I think that number is about right. We at Peterson come up with similar numbers, that there are all these other authorities the president has. As you say, some of them, like Section 122, are time limited unless Congress approves them. The bigger issue, though, is if tariffs stay, and the fact that the president will just put them right back on, and then there were plenty of tariffs on China, on Canada, on aluminum, on steel, that are going to stay irrespective of the Supreme Court, then the revenues are going to fall over time anyway, because people start substituting. They start saying, okay, I got to get stuff from Mexico or bring it home and not from China. I got to live without that avocado this time of year. I've got to substitute for steel. And so the tariff revenues are going to be on a downward trend over the next few years, even if the president does manage to put all those other things back in place.
Now, how about this $175 billion? As I understand it, the Trump administration could actually return that quite simply, and that there are methods, even electronically, that they could do so. It does not appear the president wants to do that. He says it should be litigated. So, and it likely will be litigated. I mean, are the folks who paid those tariffs, which is to say U.S. importers, companies, et cetera, are they going to see any of this money anytime soon?
Probably not. So now the Walmarts of the world and lots of more small businesses are going to find out that what it's like to be a small individual taxpayer, that yes, you may have legal claim to your refund or something, but once you get into dealing with the IRS, dealing with the customs service, you have to submit forms, you have to hire a lawyer, you have to hire an accountant. So I think this is going to get dragged out, and it's going to take a while. Now, maybe if the midterms go a particular way, people will be more confident, more insistent, and probably the biggest companies will get into direct negotiations with, say, Secretary of Commerce Lutnick about expediting the repayments. But for the vast bulk of American businesses who paid this tax, they're going to have to fight it out. And households are not going to get relief. It's not like the second that these companies get the tax rebate, whatever prices they put up on the goods that American households bought or that they passed on from more expensive inputs to make those goods, those are not going to be rebated to American households.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Small victories over time. Adam Posen, thanks so much for joining.
Thank you, Jim.